What is up, dudes, dudettes, and all my beautiful people of the interwebs? Bloody Knuckles here, aka the native nerd and gothic gamer, and your resident anime king. Now, today I want to talk about Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball has a large effect for anime here in the West, especially for a lot of fans my age as well as many older, is that this was probably the and is the king of shonen who really helped to push the genre as well as the medium here in the West when it came back out in the late 1990s and early 2000s, when it really made its way over here into the States as well as in Europe. Now, recently, we do know that the Dragon Ball Super anime had recently ended, and they are currently running the Dragon Ball Super Heroes fan service mishmash anime of all things, just to kind of fill in the time while Super takes a hiatus. Well, recently they announced that they had been teasing the Dragon Ball movie for a while, the Dragon Ball Super film that's coming out in December. Well, there's been many talks about who the villain was. Originally, it was thought that it was going to be the first Super Saiyan God, that may be the antagonist that Goku was going to come up against. But it was actually recently confirmed just before San Diego Comic-Con, especially at Anime Expo actually, by Akira Toriyama, who the villain for this film is going to be. And it was revealed to be Broly. Now, there's a lot of mixed feelings about the confirmation of this being Broly. Me personally, having been one of those people who kind of feel mixed on it. Now, that's not to say it's a bad thing, as Broly is one of the most popular villains from Dragon Ball, especially being the legendary Super Saiyan, as well as being one of the few antagonists who has had the most films, which is also what kind of pushes the envelope of it being a little bit too much. As before we got Battle of the Gods back in 2013, I believe is when Battle of the Gods came out, which was, I think, the 13th film or 14th film out of the old Dragon Ball films, because before that we had about 12 films between the early 90s to the mid 2000s, and Broly had 3 of those films all to himself, which is a quarter of the films that were already released, compared to the second person who had the most films behind him, which was Cooler. Now, he was the 8th film with the introduction back in 93 with the legendary Super Saiyan, as well as he got 2 other films, which was the Broly Second Coming, as well as Bio Broly in 94 and I believe 95. So he had 3 films all to himself before we later got Battle of the Gods, which at that point Akira Toriyama had returned to the series and did say that from that point all films will be canon in his universe, and who is also going to be taken over with Toritaro's interpretation of the Dragon Ball franchise going forward. So Broly is going to be the first returning character, and especially returning villain, to kind of now be officially canon. Now, there were many teases and references to Broly possibly making an appearance, especially with the very last story arc with the Power of Tournament in Dragon Ball Super. We do know that Universe 6 is Universe 7's twin and very closely associated universe, with the Saiyans there of Kaba, Kale, and Caulifla. Now, when they introduced Kale and saw her go legendary Super Saiyan in the Tournament of Power, as well as Vegeta even knowing the legend of it and commenting on it, we do know that there were legends and mythos of the legendary Super Saiyan, of the Berserker Saiyan also, as it's known as, in Universe 7 from the old tales of Planet Vegeta and the home of the Saiyans. So with that being stated and already known that the legendary Super Saiyan exists in some aspect, it wasn't too far of an exaggeration for us to see Broly as being a character that would make a return, as well as being the antagonist for this film. Now, what really pushes it is the fact of Akira Toriyama himself actually came out about this and actually wanted to give his official statement on Broly being the villain for the Dragon Ball Super film, because of the fact that I actually find this very interesting to know and helps to kind of add a little bit of extra light to this aspect. So his comments go like this: Everyone, are you familiar with Broly? He's an incredibly strong Saiyan who only appeared in the old anime movies. And I apparently at least drew the designs for him, but I had practically no involvement with the anime at that time, so I had totally forgotten about the story content. So, about Broly, I hear these days he's very popular, not only in Japan, but also overseas. Based on that, my editor suggested we have Broly appear in this next film. I went ahead and watched the movies from back then, and I felt this could be quite interesting once I rearranged some things. I got to work trying my hand at a story that incorporates him in the Dragon Ball Super series. While keeping in mind Broly's classic image so as not to disappoint his fans, I updated him and added a new side to his character, and I think this has resulted in a more fascinating Broly. Naturally, you will also get to see fierce combat, also the paths of destiny that lead to an encounter between Goku, Vegeta, and Broly. It also involves the Frieza Force and the history of the Saiyans, which ends up having a major connection to everything. The story content turns out to be a very large scale and dramatic. Here comes the almighty Saiyan Broly. I'm also including lots of other content all you fans will enjoy, so look forward to it, and be patient a while longer for it will all come together. So what this saying here is that he did the original designs of Broly that we know back in the day. So the design and look that everyone had enjoyed of how Broly looked from him being in the legendary Super Saiyan form, as well as just his base design when he was being controlled by Pargus, when he did try to trick Vegeta and Goku out there to the new planet Vegeta he set up as a trap. But the fact is, while he may have made those designs, he had no assistance or had any part of writing Broly's story. So he did kind of show off the new designs that he had for Broly originally, what he imagined Broly would be like, and it is kind of what we saw in the trailer. You know, he did have the fur waistcoat. He does have the old Saiyan armor, what we see Bardock in with the black sleeveless and the weighted gauntlets and things like that. As well as he has a lot more scars and a lot more design. A lot of people kind of make a joke that he looks similar to Yamcha, but I digress. The fact is, Broly, as we saw and know, was not how he originally intended Broly to be. So this could be an interesting concept and an interesting take, as we are going to have Akira Toriyama and Toritaro's take on what Broly should be as it ties to the Super series as well. So it is going to have some canon aspect to the current running series of what we see. So we are more than likely going to see, you know, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, as well as Super Saiyan Blue Goku going against Broly in his Berserker form as the legendary Super Saiyan, and seeing what kind of fight we can get into. There's also been rumors that we might see Vegito return, or possibly Gogeta. I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it does, it would be interesting. But we do see that more currently running in the spin-off series right now, with Heroes more kind of feeling in that you know, people who want to see more fusions and stuff like that. But it will be an interesting take to see Broly return, as well as being the way that he was envisioned by Toriyama himself. So this can definitely do good for the character himself, for the kind of interest that a lot of people have in him and wanting to see Broly make that return and make that comeback. So we'll definitely have to see how this all plays out. What about you? Are y'all interested in seeing what the new Broly is going to entail and how Toriyama's going to encapsulate him and what he has in mind for this character, especially one so loved and so interested by so many of his fans, as well as of this community, on wanting to see him return, as well as officially become canon, as we know that all the older 12 films before Battle of the Gods were technically non-canon. So it is going to be something interesting to see. So be sure to leave your comments down below. I do want to hear your thoughts and see how everyone else feels about Broly being the big bad villain for the new film. Of course, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy this. Share it out, tweet it, all that good stuff. As well as if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. It does help out a lot. I am trying to do more and more, so every little bit does help. But other than that, people, from me to y'all, peace out and check you later. I got a Detroit dash. So, last minute news update. As I was editing this video, it turns out that at SDC right now, at the San Diego Comic-Con, that Toei Animation actually just released the new trailer for the Dragon Ball Super movie for Broly, and I have to say the trailer absolutely does so many good things and portraying how the new Broly will look, how he's gonna be in all of this, the return of Golden Frieza, of course, like everyone's going after Broly. It's looking real good. They're bringing back Pargus, so I'm gonna go ahead and let the trailer play right now and y'all check it out. And as I said before, definitely tell me how y'all are thinking about all this, but please enjoy the video.
Goku,
and
why do you seek even more strength than you have
later.
already?
The Tournament of Power opened my eyes. No way I can stay at the same level I'm at now. I'm fired up. That must be the guy.
I don't know who he is, but his energy's absurd. Do it, Broly! How is this possible? Damn it, he's learning as he fights!
Magnificent! His power level is amazing! What the?
Looks like this is going to be tougher than we thought.
Yeah, I can't wait.
He's getting stronger!